Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a review of the 7th Senior Anniversary Mega5-EST Limited Edition and to go from there. I don't know if there was another version of this that might have been different, but this was the one that I bought. I got this used, got a good deal on it. But yeah, this will be a very short review, so that means I didn't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first put the notes on the screen, so you guys can take a look at it and you skip out if you want. But yeah, I want to just say a few things. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get right to the point and tell you what I think about it and to go from there. So it's funny because when I actually looked at the graphs, I thought this would be basically like the Critical Dusk. It sounds nothing like the Critical Dusk. So basically this is, let me just go through the notes really quick here. This is very disappointing actually. So to me, but before I go on further, make sure to look at this because this is what I reviewed. Maybe what else everybody else reviewed was different, but I noticed that Mark from Super Reviews, he reviewed the exact same thing. So again, we just have different opinions, but we also have different tastes in music. All right, so one of the first things I check is this one song by BB. It's called Weekend because it allows me to know what kind of bass is going on, and it also lets me know what's going on with her voice. So what happens is it makes her voice, it sounds like someone went in Audacity and went on the song and just did +7 on bass. And I just want to make sure I don't have the bass edition. I have the actual, I don't know what version this is, but I think this is the real deal one. Basically, her voice, her octave, she sounds deeper. Her voice is deeper, and it kind of, it's just, the overall, this is a very kind of warmish, darkish sort of IEM. It doesn't sound like the Dusk at all, which is kind of crazy because on graphs they look the same, but dude, they don't sound anything alike. So I want to make this very clear that people who depend on the 7-Eleven graphs, you gotta watch out sometimes, man. Because honestly, I would be pissed if I paid $500 for this. I mean, dude, I would be returning this on that very day. Because, dude, the Dusk, in my opinion, in DSP mode, sounds better than this. It just has more clarity. Female vocals sound so much better. This it does not sound good to me. And I know this is gonna be an unpopular review. So what I said was, the Sony IER M7 destroys this, although obviously this costs more, but you can find this used from time, maybe around $300, $400 if you look around, but it just sounds way better than this all across the board, destroys this. The other thing I want to say is this reminds me of the Mackie MP240, which I returned, where it makes the voices too dark sounding, or it kind of sounds like the Ultimate Ears UE350, which I returned, which makes everything sound really dark. And so I didn't really like that. And okay, then what I did was I switched to Tang Sankai wide bore ear tips because I began to realize this was just a little bit too dark and too warm, too swarmy, like losing a lot of detail. And so what I realized was, yeah, that's a lot better. But still, when I go back and I check BB Weekend again, you know, the bass is punchy, but like it is making her voice sound deeper. And everything just sounds really muddled. And there was a thought that just came in my brain. I'm like, dude, you know what sounds better than this? The Dunu Kima 2. Book it, man. Book it. This is better than this, dude. Book it. Go get this. Go buy this. Come back and report back and tell me. This is better. This is better at like 1/5 the price. I'm telling you, this is better than the Mega5-EST. Okay, at least better than this particular edition, because this lacks so much detail. It drowns out female vocals. It just sounds super dark and smark and smeary. It doesn't sound really good. Again, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but fuck it. That's what I've kind of discovered about this. Next song I check, Wolf Teal All Tinted. Dude, Duna Kima 2 is destroying this. I'm hearing this back and forth. I'm cross-checking. And this sounds better, in my opinion. You know, I know this is going to sound like a really hot take, but please, buy this first, listen to this, then go back and listen to this, and tell me honestly if you think this sounds... It's not even... Okay, this is a hot take. It's not even that, hey, this is just as good for like $112. No, this sounds better. Better than this. At $112. So you go and get the Duna Kima 2. It does this better, in my opinion. But I know people really want to know, how does it sound against the Dusk? Dude, the Dusk sounds a lot better. It just has more detail, has more sparkle compared with female vocals. This just sounds like really, really muddy. It sounds like the Ultimate Ears 350, which I returned. You know what I mean? So what I said was this. There's this part in the song where the girls go, to the X, to the X. Dude, their voice is getting drowned out. And there's this part when they go, show you where it goes. And that just gets drowned out. Their voices are getting drowned out by the bass. This thing sounds so muddled. It just doesn't sound good. And again, what I want to say is this just goes to show that you cannot tell from graphs, man. They look the fucking same. They don't sound the same, dude. This is super muddled, man. At least for the music I listen to. Now, there is one saving grace, okay? I do want to mention. So what I do is I start checking male vocals, and I notice that Justin's voice, he sounds a lot manlier. He has much more chestiness in his voice. He sounds just more, a little bit more badass, you know what I mean? So this definitely sounds really good on male vocals. Then I went and checked Chris's voice, and it kind of gives him like a more manly kind of tone, like more masculine, more oomph in his voice, more chestiness. So this sounds, I imagine, very, very, very good on male vocals. But for female vocals, they sound like they're pitched lower, 1 octave lower. They sound deeper. In terms of the sibilance test, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right here, 0, 0, 0. So basically, this gets like no sibilance. Overall, I would say in general, the sound signature, what would I call this? This is not neutral. This ain't even V-shaped, man. Because V-shaped is like you at least have clarity. This is not even warm. This is dark. Let's just go ahead and kind of break it down, right? This is the V-shaped box, right? So it ain't like the Tongzu 1 or 2. It ain't like the it ain't like the, what is it? Like the Swan NV, which is more V-shaped. It ain't like the freaking Defiance. It ain't like the, the Mies Alba, which I reviewed the other day. It ain't like the Sennheiser. It ain't like the Performer 8. These have clarity. Right? This has no clarity, okay? Then what is it? Let's go ahead and check the warm box, right? Okay, this is the warm box. It's kind of like the Explorer 8. It's kind of in that territory. Definitely more warmer and darker than the Z-Gut Lush. Definitely warmer and darker than the Duno SE6 Mark II. Definitely warmer and darker compared to the RD8. Definitely warmer and darker than the Truthier Pure. This is a very, I would say, just dark, warmish sort of IEM that smothers and just kind of makes all female vocals sound deeper and warmer and swarmier. And in my opinion, I just kept thinking, dude, the Duno Kima 2 destroys this, man. You know what I mean? So I honestly, I do not think this is worth $500. If I want folks to know a few things, right? Maybe what I'm saying right now is not the right version, because the version I got was the 7th anniversary limited edition. Maybe what I got was the wrong version, and there's a better version out there. If that's the case, then disregard everything I'm saying. But if this is the right version, dude, save your money and go get the Duno Kima 2 instead. Second thing I want to say is you cannot trust the 711 graphs. Look at how fucking close that is, and how fucking they sound nothing alike, dude. They don't sound at all the same. And I was fooled. I was thinking, oh, why would I need to buy that? Why do I need to spend $500 on that when that's just going to sound just like the Dusk? Well, it turns out I was half right and half wrong. Yes, it's not worth $500, but because it sounds crappier, dude. But I was wrong because they do not sound the same. They sound very different. So don't trust the 511 graphs, because sometimes you can't tell. But overall, if I wanted to say one thing, it's just, this is all just subjective. Everyone's going to have different opinions. What I can say objectively, is number 1, this sounds nothing like the Dusk. Number 2, this is the limited editions, whatever edition. Maybe this is different. Number 3, this is warm, dark. This is warm, dark. Number 4, this is not V-shaped, because V-shaped has clarity and bite and a little bit of treble. This doesn't have that. Then it's not V-shaped. Then this is like something else. And number 5, this ain't neutral by any fucking means at all, okay? So that's all I want to say, and you guys have a great day. Okay, bye.